Entering cross-sectional data in EViews file. Actually, cross-section can be a person, individual, or entity, or maybe a company, or maybe a country. But in our case, cross-section are the country. Like first cross-section is China, then Indonesia, Japan, and so on. In cross-sectional data, the time will not be changed, it will remain same, but the cross sections will change. Like first cross section is China and Indonesia and so on. Now go to EViews file, file, new work file. A window is opened. You are required to select unstructured and undated in a window of work file structure type, because EViews mentions cross-sectional data as unstructured and undated. When you will select it, it will ask you the number of observations. Go back to Excel. For example, select the data of fintech. These are 8 observations, but you can check the number of observations from this count. Go back to EViews, write 8. File name is optional. Click OK. EViews will generate a file for you. C is constant and recit is the error term of econometric equation. Now go back to Excel file and count the number of variables. There are 3 variables: economy, fintech, and GDP. Come to EViews file and generate all 3 variables. Write GENR space economy equal to 0. Enter. The EViews will create a variable for you. Then generate another variable which is fintech, gener space fintech equal 0. EViews will generate fintech variable. Then your third variable is GDP. Write gener GDP equal 0. Now the EViews has generated all 3 variables for you. Now enter the data of all the variables. For example, select fintech, go to cell, click on edit, go back to Excel, select the data of fintech, press Ctrl C for copy, back to EViews, click on the cell and press Ctrl V for paste. And you have pasted all the data of fintech. You must need to close the edit button. Close this variable, click on GDP, go to cell, click edit, go back to Excel, select the data of GDP, Ctrl C, back to EViews, click on the cell and paste the data. Close edit and close the variable. You can check the data of both the variables simultaneously. Select both the variables by pressing Ctrl, right click, open, open as group. The data is here for all 8 observations for 2 variables. Close it. However, there are 2 more ways to import the data from Excel to eViews. Just close this file. Go, go to File, open foreign data as a work file. You can directly import the SPSS or Excel file to eViews by clicking the foreign data as work file. But first of all, we need to check that where the file exists. Minimize it, minimize it. The file of GDP and FinTech exists at my desktop, so I will have to go back to eViews, File, Open, Foreign Data Work File. eViews will ask you to import the data from any folder. Because my file exists at desktop, I will select desktop and will try to find the GDP and FinTech, which is here. Double click on it, click next, again next. As I earlier told you that the eViews mentions cross-sectional data as unstructured and undated, so select it and finish. You can check that the eViews has directly imported the data of all the variables. Similarly, the third way is directly drag and drop the file to eViews. So close it, minimize it, go back to desktop, select the file, drag it and drop to eViews. The same procedure, next, next. You are hereby required to mention the unstructured, undated for cross sections. Finish it, and you can import the data directly to eViews by dragging the file to eViews. And finally check the data is here or not. Yes, the data is here.